Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast, Why Wait? Real Estate. So Today we have an amazing guest here. We are at the property show, as you can tell. We have amazing guests here from Mexico.
True.
And I would love to introduce you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, all the way from the Riviera Maya, the Mexican paradise, Caribbean side of Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula. Most people know it like Cancún International Airport. My name is Christopher Gill, Commercial Director for Simca Developments, one of the oldest developers in the area, developing more than 15 years. And we have delivered more than 1,600 properties over 27 different developments. And today we are here in Toronto, which by far is one of our top destinations for real estate investors that have decided to retire or either invest their own funds into this fantastic destination, which is by far today considered one of the top destinations in Latin America for tourism.
That's amazing. What a background. And who do we have the pleasure here?
My sister. I love her to bits. Suman, let me introduce her first. She's actually our right hand in Canada. Volume on real estate investors has increased in the last 3 years in Toronto and other parts of Canada. So we decided to open an office in Canada, especially here in Toronto. And Suman is a person in charge to take care of all realtors as well as investors on this side of the world to make sure everything is transparent, very communicative, and everything is explained by detail, and invite them to join us in one of our chill-out weekends down to Paradise to get to see the reality of what Suman introduces.
Wonderful. That's amazing. And we also have the pleasure of Vatsal Shah, a real estate representative on our panel today as well. What we're going to do is we're going to basically ask some questions to you about a few things, and you can share some of the stories.
Sure,
okay?
Of course.
Let's start out with, how did you start in this business?
How did I start in this business? Well, like Star Wars, a long time ago.
You better have time to hear this.
All right, 15 minutes, okay.
Yeah. Everything started like many successful businesses with a dream. I was 16 years old, very anxious to do things on myself. So by the age of 17, I started with my own real estate company in South Spain, Malaga. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. And it was in a perfect timing because everything was booming back then in Malaga. And really things went very well, grew very fast, together with my cousin and some friends that were the partners of the company. But in precisely the 9th of December 2014 at 6 p.m., I arrived in Riviera Maya, Cancún International Airport with my father on a very special trip. And I discovered what today is my home. I fell in love not only with the people, but with the destination, with its beaches, with its culture, gastronomy. And the reality, it was so incredible that within 3 months after that, I decided to move and sell everything, sell all my shares of the real estate and move into Mexico. I'm a Sagittarius, so we're kind of impulsive. Kind of impulsive. But the reality is, by the 5th of May 2005 at 6 p.m., same flight, different time of the year, I moved into Mexico and I started working at a very low salary to kind of discover what was happening. And new real estate was starting to boom big time. And within a few months later, I started working as a broker and eventually became a developer, partnering with the biggest developers in the area. Today, Simca Development, as I say, has been 15 years. And 15 years may not sound a lot, but it's kind of like Toronto is a brand new market. I mean,
Absolutely.
The municipality, the city of Playa del Carmen is only actually no more than 25 years old. So the reality is that we were there from the very beginning, and I was very honored and lucky, and universe conspired to my favor to meet this generous developers that decided to welcome me and their family. And today it's just spectacular the way things are going, how we are able to provide dreams to many retirees. Don't forget, we are the number one destination for Canada today for retirees in the world. People are retiring.
True.
I mean, the famous baby boomers, 10,000 every day. People are retiring. Well, quite a lot of them have decided to call Playa del Carmen, Tulum, or Cancun their retirement home today. And it's a perfect match because the reality is people are buying their spot in paradise on pre-sale stages even. They guaranteeing their future retirement home. And while they're not occupying their property, our management company is actually renting it out for them. So it's not just a personal point of view to the purchase now. It's also an investment factor, which is obtaining great returns from 8 to 12% net return just on rentals.
Wow.
And a great capital appreciation of an average of 8 to 10% a year, depending, of course, the location. So things are happening for them. Things are happening for us. And it's a win-win for everybody.
That is amazing. Now, I want to expand on how this relationship is working and what our Toronto and GTA listeners can kind of connect with and take advantage of what you're offering. So tell me more about how this relationship is.
Well, I also had a dream. And the dream involved a tropical location and trying to find a place that I could enjoy and work at the same time. So after lots of research in Latin America, visiting different tropical countries, I sat and I decided to choose the Mayan Riviera. And for the same reasons that Chris is talking about, because of the appreciation value, because of the kind of investment return you can get, I chose the location. And Simca, I chose Simca because it is one of the top developers. The quality is there, the reputation is there, and the value. You're paying top dollar, but you're also getting top quality. So in combination, that's why I work with Chris. You know, we're a team, we work together. I am training brokers, realtors, and I also do sales. So in combination, we are making things happen in Canada and in Toronto.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a need of the hour. Absolutely.
And I just want to mention that I have my own independent company called Viva Sol Tropical Properties.
Okay.
And what that does, which is important to know, is that I'm an independent. So I'm not like a staff. My job is to protect the purchaser and find them the best possible options.
Correct.
And believe me, Simca has the best possible options. So that's why I have an alliance with them.
That's wonderful.
So that's where we're at here. And, you know, people are always welcome to call us, contact us if they want more information. I think within the space of 20 minutes at the show, I have spoken to about 5 realtors who are interested in working with us and promoting Simca properties.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, Vatsal, as a real estate professional, what do you think about this opportunity? Is Toronto going to be exploding, trying to get into Mayan Riviera?
I think so, because the kind of real estate in Toronto, the price is going sky high. So, looking at the potential at Maya is going to be a big asset to an investor. So,
And
definitely it's going to change the mindset of a lot of investors to go into Mexico and invest, definitely.
Like, there is a shift happening right now in the market because I'm talking to investors every day. How we like to present ourselves, like with Simca, is that we are offering another option. We want people to diversify their portfolios. There was an article in the Globe and Mail, Canada's national newspaper. They're saying that like 75% of Canadians who have the net worth are purchasing their second property outside of the country.
Wow.
So our whole message is that diversify your portfolio, get into an emerging market, and we're giving you an asset that you can also enjoy. Right? That's the big key there.
True. And don't forget, Mexico is part of the famous NAFTA agreement. So double taxation does not exist when you invest in Mexico. Plus, of course, you can also use your retirement funds through an LLC to purchase in Mexico. This is part of the benefits of the NAFTA agreement. As you know, commercial relationship Canada and Mexico is better than ever. And also it's helping many people to take that extra step. You were talking about property value. Property value is a big key to this decision making. Because at the end of the day, you can buy one bedroom today at an early stage of one of our developments. For example, Siempre Playa has just been launched only a month ago, starting at $164,900.
And
that's a down payment for us.
Exactly.
Well, and the reality is, being such a solid company and so long in the market, we appreciate the trust of clients. So we only require 30% of that. So it's pretty much $49,000. This is US dollars to make it clear, not
Can't buy a closet in Manhattan.
No.
But for $49,000, you just lock down your unit. It's yours already, and upon delivery, then your property will probably be around $195,000, under $200,000 in the next year and a half, and then you just pay off upon delivery but then it's ready to rent. And of course, free cash flow comes in. $25,000 gross a year is what you're making in a one bedroom like this.
So are you saying that somebody in Toronto can invest without any hassles, no taxation problems, issues, stuff like that?
Correct. I mean, there is tax always, but we're talking about Mexican tax. Mexican tax is a very flexible tax, very economical tax program, where big time 0.1% annual property tax is what you pay. So a property like this one I just mentioned, you will only be paying $165 a year in property tax.
Wow.
Also, the fact that you are able to resell your primary property at no capital gain tax once every 3 years. So if you own various properties and you resell one every 3 years, you actually get exempted from capital gain tax. Once again, going back to the NAFTA agreement, our Mexican IRA, our Mexican tax authorities, expedite a certificate that makes you exempted from this capital gain. You bring it back to Canada, you won't get capital gain tax here by all means. So this makes it very attractive. Is the key of success having high rental income, low property cost gains, great utilities, and that's what investors are finding within the Mayan Riviera.
So what if something goes wrong with the NAFTA agreement? Like, Trump is really up.
We all, let's say, suffering or going through this process. The reality is Canada has already spoken now that whatever happens, Canada and Mexico are not changing by all means anything with the relationship. Whatever US decides to do as a different country, they can do it by all means. I feel they'd be losing out of it because at the end of the day, there's a lot of profit on gaining this commercial agreement with Mexico, which provides today one of the number one suppliers for engines around the world, car, automotive, staff labor, and of course, avocados and all kinds of things come from Mexico. So, I mean, we don't know what may happen in the world. What I do know is relationships between Canada and Mexico today is very healthy and strong.
They just removed the visa requirement.
They just moved.
So true. Yeah, very recently.
Which is a big thing. I mean, even just look at the airlines. I always measure the business with airlines, funny enough. I mean, there's two ingredients to my recipe at the time of seeking where possible investors are, and it's great winter storms and direct flights to Cancún International Airport.
That is a great way of measuring statistics.
100%. Wow. And the reality is Toronto kind of has cold winters, right? But also there's 5-6 direct flights every single day of the week to Cancún International Airport with WestJet, Air Transat, Interjet, Aeromexico, and many more airlines.
By the way, I just want to mention a recent report just went out by International Living. They have named Mexico the top retirement country in the world.
Is that right?
It is considered the most accessible country for both U.S. and Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, so that tells you a lot.
That being said, I heard something that you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Chill out week.
Chill out
What
weekend.
is that? Let's talk about that.
We all want to chill out.
Well, as developers that been 15 years doing what we do, gaining the trust of more than 1,600 owners, there is a reality. I mean, there are avid investors, risky investors that decide to buy, how we call it, a blind sale, which is people buying from a distance without seeing it. The reality is that's probably only 5% of the total investors that decide to go ahead and invest in the Riviera Maya. So what we do is provide information through partners like Suman to people in Toronto. And then we have every month available what we call a chill weekend. The chill weekend is a 3-night stay, 4-day. We can extend it at a very attractive rate, very low compromise rate. We're talking about $399 average for 2 people, 3-night, 4-day. It includes transfer, it includes accommodation, it includes food and beverage, and it's all about getting to the destination, enjoying the destination, realizing as a future owner what the energy of the destination, what the people are like, what does it feel like to be in the area. Of course, a real estate property is presented at a very, very unaggressive process. We're not hard sells. We just make sure you fall in love with the destination and then realize what a great opportunity we have to offer. And when both things match together, then automatically people decide to move ahead and purchase a property. Or if they don't decide to purchase for whatever reason, at least they're going back home with a great experience. And chances are they'll speak to a family friend and then they will end up buying the property. So the reality is something that makes simply accessible to come and visit us and realize what's happening.
And I want to just mention the one thing that is important for people is that they want to do their due diligence.
Yes.
And this is when they do their due diligence.
That's a great point.
Because what they're doing is they're visiting the developer, seeing their offices. They're visiting properties that have already been constructed, fully ready, fully delivered. They can see the quality of the finishes. They can actually see what's already been built by the company.
They get accommodated.
They
could probably meet with some investors during the...
Of course, on the day-to-day within the community, there's people that are already purchased.
Then, on top of that, there's a management company that handles the property for them. They get to meet with...
All problem solved. You don't have to be on the ground
There's
anymore.
a presentation on that. Then they get to meet with a lawyer to take them through the legal side. So it's not about just sales. This is a very comprehensive trip that gives them a full understanding of what's involved in purchasing and what they're getting for their money.
Sure.
I have brokers visiting every month. Right? And they go through the same thing. It's part of their training. Yeah. They have to understand the product if they're going to sell it.
Of course.
So
100%. I think that's a great point. I think we're all ready to chill out.
Who isn't?
I'm really, really glad that we crossed paths today at the property show. Check us out. All the links for your websites and brochures will be in the show notes. So why wait? Real estate.
Oh,
Thank you.
Great.